What's up, guys? I'm going to be doing a full review of the Asics Superblast 2. I do have 200 miles in it, so this is kind of a late review. I probably should have done this 150 miles ago, but here we are. It's been a while since I've done a video, but I'm going to be back doing videos again, shoe reviews, so stay tuned for that. Let's just dive right into this. So like I said, I have 200 miles in the shoe. It's held up well, as you can tell. It's a little dirty, but I mean, it's basically no wear, which is incredible. Let's just start from the top to the bottom. So first, the laces. The laces are pretty standard. They're pretty thin. I do have a lace locking system on there, or a runner's loop, if you will. It's pretty standard though. Nothing too crazy. This is pretty standard for me to do. The runner's loop, so it's not because it's not laced up properly or anything like that. It's just I like to do that with most of my shoes. The tongue, it's pretty standard again. It is gusseted, so it is attached to the inside of the shoe. It's a little bit thin, maybe a little bit stiff, but it's honestly I would say it's pretty standard. So and as we go, I'm going to be giving the score from 1 to 10 on each individual thing. So the laces and the lacing system, I'm giving a 7.5. The tongue, I'm giving a 7.5, which is just a standard score. As we go to the upper, we do have an engineered mesh. As you can kind of tell, it's a little bit more of a knit kind of engineered mesh. I honestly really like this. I think this is kind of one of the features that people don't talk about that much, but I really have enjoyed it. As you can tell, there's a little bit more open mesh over the toes, which on these really hot, humid days, it really helps a lot. It feels really nice. And so I gave this a really good score. I gave it an 8.5, which is probably one of the higher scores. But I really like this upper, and I wish more shoe brands would do this. The insole's pretty standard, but it does have a little bit more bounce than a typical insole. So I gave it a rating of an 8, so a little bit better than average. So I think that's also a pretty quality thing to do with a shoe like this. The midsole's already incredible, but you put a nice insole in there as well, and it just adds a little extra. As far as the midsole, we have FF Turbo Plus on the top, which is this colored piece. And this little white piece at the bottom is the FF Blast Plus. Now the turbo, what's on top, this is on a lot of their racing and kind of more faster tempo type shoes. Really quality critical foam there. Very bouncy, just incredible ride. It is a little bit firmer, but as you pick up the pace, it kind of comes alive, if you will. Very bouncy, just incredible cushion, very lightweight, but also very dense. You're getting a lot of feedback from the ground to your foot, and then the white piece really kind of gives you a little bit more of a structural thing. So you're getting, it is pretty structured. It is pretty supportive. So it's not super loose. You're not going to be kind of overpronating or even supinating too much. It kind of keeps you pretty straight in the shoe. It is a neutral shoe though, I will say that, but it does kind of have more of a structural kind of support to it. And then of course you're getting a lot of stack height there. You're getting 45 in the heel and 37 in the forefoot for an 8mm drop from heel to toe. So pretty good, pretty standard. For the midsole, I'm giving it a really high score of a 9 because I can't really think of something that's much better than this. It's really lightweight. It's incredibly comfortable. You're getting, like I said, you're getting a lot of return, a lot of bounce. And for me, I like a firmer shoe. So to me, this is about as good as it gets, especially for like a daily trainer. The durometer was kind of difficult with this shoe. As you can tell, it has a lot of ridges, so that's kind of part of the aesthetic of the shoe. So you can kind of take the readings with a grain of salt here, but I was getting 37, 39 in the forefoot here, and then I was getting 33 in the heel, which tells you right there it's pretty soft, but it's also pretty firm. But I think the nature of the midsole, it's like I said, very bouncy. So those softness or firmness durometer scores don't really tell you what it feels like, I don't think. But it's just super quality, very premium cushioning underfoot. As far as the outsole, you have AHAR Plus in the back here at the heel, and then you have the Asics grip throughout the rest of the shoe. I gave this, the outsole, an 8.5, and the reason being is the rubber is incredible. It's very grippy, but it doesn't completely consume the bottom of the shoe, and I think this is a great job on Asics' part, because a lot of times when you do have these shoes that are very durable, that have a lot of stack height, that are daily trainers that are made to last, they have too much rubber, and this one has just enough. It's thin, but it's also got good coverage, and so I just gave it a really high score of 8.5. I've ran in the rain, I've ran in the mud, I've ran just on pretty much any surface, and this has done really, really well with the rain, with the mud, kind of slipping and sliding around. It honestly grips really, really well, and it's got a nice wide platform too. And then the weight, of course, I've measured it a lot of times, or a lot of different times, even with it being kind of sweaty and probably weighed down a little bit, but it's pretty consistently right at 9 ounces, which for a men's 9.5, that's really solid score, especially with how versatile the shoe is. Typically a shoe with this much stack height, you're looking at, at least 10 ounces, even closer to 11 ounces. So that's an incredible score, and I gave that an 8.5 as well. The durability, I gave it 8.5. We're at 200 miles, and there's really no sign of really any wear. It's a little bit dirty, of course, but I'm predicting a minimum of 600 miles, and for lighter runners, more efficient runners, 700-800, you might even be able to take it to 1,000. I don't know, but I think you're getting an incredibly durable shoe. So again, 8.5 on the durability. On the looks, I gave it an 8 because I think it's a little bit better looking than your average shoe. I honestly really like the colors. I like this color, and they have a lot of other really cool colors. So I think in terms of look, I give a good solid 8. Let's see what else we got. Versatility, 8.5. I've ran as slow as 9 minutes, even as fast as 5 minutes, or even below for some 200s or something like that. But for me, I'm using this shoe as a mixed long run, also just an everyday, even moderate pacing. I'll even use it for cruise intervals or even tempo, marathon pace effort. It can cover a very, very wide variety of pacing. For the average Joe, I honestly think this is a shoe can do it. They can do it all. For your 3-hour plus marathon runners, this can do your training, do your racing, and honestly, for people that are running at higher volumes, you can probably get 2 pairs of these and just alternate them, and that's all you wear. The only time you throw on like a racing shoe is when you race, and then maybe for that occasional, if you have a 2 max session, or you're doing just a faster session, but it can cover really any kind of pace. So I give that part an 8.5 as well. The price, I'm going to give it a 7, and I know a lot of people are thinking, what? It's $200. Like, shouldn't it be like a really bad score? The reason why I'm giving it a 7 is because I think you can probably get almost the lifespan of 2 normal daily trainers out of the shoe, and the amount of things you can do with the shoe, I think it's well worth that price. I think it would be an absolute perfect shoe if it was $180 or $170, but would I pay $200 for the shoe? Yes, I would continue to pay that, because what you're getting for the money is honestly worth it, because you're just getting such a versatile shoe, and the longevity just makes it honestly worth that $200. And so now we come to the total results of my scoring system, and I'm going to break down my scoring system just really quick. So for shoes that are considered runnable or just okay, like shoes I would probably just do like a couple easy miles, but I don't really like them that much, but they're runnable, I'm giving them a 7.0 to 7.2. For shoes that are good, just good standard shoes I would recommend, but nothing too crazy, 7.3 to 7.5. And then shoes that are considered rotationable, or shoes that I would buy again or that I would use in my rotation every week. These are shoes that are 7.6 to 7.9 on a scoring system. And then shoes that are 8.0 and above are considered favorites. Shoes I would always get. I love them. They're just like, I might even have a couple pairs of them. So anyways, that's the scoring system. So this shoe scored 8.1. So clearly it's in my rotation. It's one of my favorite shoes. I think it honestly, for 2025, out of the shoes I've tried, this is my favorite shoe, and one of my favorite shoes maybe of all time. So that kind of completes the review. If you have any questions, please ask in the comments. I know I covered a lot, and I kind of probably talked really fast. But yeah, this is a great shoe. Definitely worth the money. Definitely, I think, worth getting. I think this shoe can be used. I think anyone can use this shoe. Even for you stability runners out there, I think this is a shoe that if you do want to have a shoe in your rotation that isn't a stability shoe, with you want to have pretty structured, and you can do a lot of things in it, like a tempo run or even a longer kind of tempo run, even a long run with mixed efforts. I think this is still a shoe you could wear. It's still structured enough, I think, that it can be worn by just about anyone. But yeah, I think that's all I got to say about the shoe. More videos to come. I hope you guys are doing well, and we'll see you next time.